Yes, let's get into it. Consistency is the key to success. My name is Anna K. Hutchinson, and you're listening to For Change Be Bold. Let's chat, let's laugh, because it's your time to start choosing you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Hey, guys, today I am all the way in Utah, and I have my amazing guest joining today, Liz, and I'm so excited for her to share her journey or experience with us. But before we get into the episode for today, there's one thing I wanted to share, and it's that you have to be the light that shines bright for others to see. And I think many times as we go through life, we're gonna have so many blockage, obstacles, so many problems that are gonna come that we're gonna feel so overwhelmed and feel like, you know what, I don't think I can be the light in this place or this area of my life. But it's so funny how when we put ourselves out there with no expectations, how much others are looking at us like, wait, if you could do it, so can I. And so I want to remind you that you are the light in the darkest place. So shine that light as you go throughout the day, as you go throughout the week. But today's not the episode for me only. So our guest today, hi Liz, how are you?
Hi, thanks for having me on, Anna K.
Thanks for joining. I'm so happy that you have finally made it onto the podcast, and we're here to talk and to, share more about your business, or you're going to share more about your business, and I'm going to soak it in, and I know the audience are going to soak it in as well. So we're going to start off with Liz. And why did you decide to, first of all, start a business, go into the whole dynamic of this business world that has so many obstacles?
Absolutely. So how far back do we want to go? I think, we'll just go back there real quick. We'll go there real quick to the very beginning. Yeah. But I was the oldest of a homeschool family. So there's 4 of us girls. And when I was 5 years old, I went and picked all the baby pumpkins in my mom's garden, and I went and sold them door to door.
Wow.
I don't know how I knew how to do this. I just know that I wanted to make money. I didn't want to just wear hand-me-downs and hand-me-down toys and all that. I wanted my own stuff. And I knew that I had to work at 5 years old. That was my first little business. And then I had different side hustles all the years growing up, and I'm thankful that I had a mom that let me do my side hustles. I think some parents I talk to, they're like, what do I do with my child? They just keep wanting to make money, and money the root of all evil. What do I do? This isn't good. And I'm like, you just need to know how to work with them. They're creative, they're ambitious, let them see how it goes. You can reel them in, but I'm thankful my mom let me sell some stuff as a child.
You know what? As you talk about that and, letting the child grow and you being involved with them, it shows somewhat of a dynamic flow of who they're going to be when they grow up. So sometimes you can see that spark from the littlest as 5. As you said, you were selling. Oh, who was thinking about that at 5? I was outside playing. I was what was I doing at 5? Playing with my dolls.
Right. I think you should be playing with your dolls at 5 years old. I wish. There's so many questions that I would love to ask my mom. She passed almost 2 years ago, and now we don't have children yet, and I'm I just want to ask so many questions, but I just have to rely on my memories for now. But but then I got into the fitness industry. That's what I went to college for. And I thought, I'm going to become a dietitian. I'm a personal trainer already. I'm going to become a dietitian, but to become a dietitian, you have to go to school. You need masters. You need to do an internship. You have to do all this schooling. And I knew I wanted to have my own business. And I decided to not do 2 more years of free, pay for college plus work for 2 years for free and kind of pay for it for internships. So I pulled out. So I got 2 degrees, but stopped. And then I started my own business. And I moved to California in 2009. I became a fitness influencer and went down that route of online marketing, the courses, and all the online stuff that is just normal for really any business these days. But back then it wasn't normal. That was not what people were doing. I learned at the beginning, made a ton of mistakes. And then I met my husband. He also had multiple brick and mortar businesses. And when we got married, I'm like, my dream is to work with my spouse. Like other relationships I had, that wasn't their dream. And I just like, that's not going to work out. Like I want to work with my spouse. I don't want us to build 2 separate businesses and be apart from each other all the time. Like I want us to work together, which is really hard. We figured it out though. And I'm thankful that dream came true. So we've been working together for 7 years now you're wondering what does this lady do? I haven't even shared yet. What do we do? We do marketing for local businesses. So they have a physical location and that's what we specialize in. But I love, jumping on podcasts or just sharing and helping any small business owners because there's local strategies that you can apply, whether you work with clients locally or just online. There's things you can do to connect with people in your local area, the city that you live in.
Yes, that mesh that to combine both of them. So, you talked about working with your spouse. We're going to get into that because, of course, that is very much a tedious thing right there. It's a lot of patience, of course, time management, accountability for that is 100% right there. So if you could pretend, if we can think about it's a time machine, we're going back in time, what would you do in your earlier years? Is there something that you would change? Is there something that you wouldn't change? And why would that be?
So in my earlier years, I can remember I was 24, so I'm 36 now. So a little over 10 years ago, I was 24. I just moved to California and I hired a coach for $25,000. I know. You guys are like, what the heck? Who has that money? I did not have that money. That was credit cards. That was a loan. And I really believed in the promise and the guarantee of this program that I was going to make 6 figures by investing this money. And I was naive. I wish, looking back, to invest that much money, I wish I would have found an agency to do done-for-you services for me, to actually do the work. Mm-hmm. But I even do that now. I'm like, okay, I'm going to hire, recently I've been looking to hire an email marketing company. I'm like, I'm good at what I do. I'm a good copywriter, but I want someone else to analyze my stuff.
Exactly.
Even now I'm like interviewing and I still go back to, oh, let me download this book. I downloaded an Audible book today on inbound email marketing, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm going back. It's just, I think that's how I am, is like, okay, let me hire the coach. Let me buy the course and let me do the thing. But that takes a lot of time. You end up spending a lot of money if you found the right agency, which you can't trust all of them. And could I have made that decision to hire the right one back then? I don't know, but I wish I would have spent all that money on hiring the right company, if you know what the right company is, because I think it could have catapulted me forward a lot more. I could have made money a lot quicker. And I don't think you have to figure it out or know how to do it all on your own.
That's so true. I like how you said that. Sometimes we have to work, we have to be efficient in our time, in our day, because as you said, a lot of people were dragged into it. I look back on my journey of how many money I have given into network marketing, thinking I'm going to be a six-figure person by now. Of course, we have all been there.
I did network marketing also. We could have went back further to that. Yeah, I spent a lot of money there too.
Yeah, we buy the products, we sell, we invite people over. Hey, come, I mean, it teaches you so much, and I would definitely say it's something that if you've gone through it, you know what to do, what not to do, and you know the process that you need to take. And it's not every single network marketing we're talking about that really isn't good for you, because you do have some that are really good, that gets you to the place that you want to go to. But sometimes not everything is meant for you, and you just have to take whatever you get from it and go. Just learn and go. So,
Absolutely.
Exactly. We are propelled into this work life centered around a full day of labor. We wake up early, we go to bed late, and especially as business owners, you're up super early and you're in bed late because you're answering emails, and especially if you do it on the side, so you work your 9 to 5 and you have that side hustle, you're going to bed late. If you could make a decision on the hours a person should work in a day, what would you change it to? And do you agree with that new European government change, or that decision that they made to have a 4-day work week? Let's hear it.
Wow. I mean, it's summertime right here now in the US. So the days are long. I mean, 5 a.m., the sun is shining, the birds are chirping.
Exactly.
8 o'clock at night, the sun is still up. And so we find ourselves, even though we try, when I say we, it's my husband and I, we work from home. Our staff all works from home. We're not going to an office, but like we have staff that's staying up late, sending us messages 10, 11 o'clock at night, on the weekends, everything. So lately I've like, okay, we need to reel in our staff and go back to our boundaries. Like, everyone I think should be taking the weekends. So as for a 3-day weekend, I mean, that sounds great. I was just interviewed on a podcast that talks about 3-day weekends, and I think that's amazing. We have never done a 3-day, but I do have a lot of friends that have been adopting this in the US. They pay a salary, a 4-day-a-week salary to their employees, and everyone gets their work done in those 4 days. We have been discussing this the past 2 weeks on should we roll this out at our company. And my husband loves it. He's like, I think it sounds great. We haven't done it yet. I think the idea sounds great, but I think we're so used to the sun shining and we just stop working when the sun stops shining. It's like, it's hard. So do I agree with it? I think in our world of when you're an online business owner, and if you can work efficiently and get your job done, I think go for it. A lot of times, like, we don't get paid hourly for the work we do, per project. So we train all of our staff. Not everyone gets paid per project. Most of our staff are like getting paid hourly, but I try to sometimes teach them, like, I want to pay you more money if I pay for this project, and if you can get it done more efficiently, that's even better.
Yes.
So that's, I think, more of the entrepreneur mindset versus employee and making a dollar amount per hour. Exactly. Is I could work more efficiently. And I did the same thing when I was homeschooled when I was a kid. My sisters would take forever to do all their homework and their lessons. And so my mom was constantly fighting with them to finish their schoolwork. Well, I learned I can get all my lessons done in 2 or 3 hours, and then I can do whatever I want the rest of the day. Yeah. So I've taken that in my whole entire life, everything I do. So when I'm leading my team, I'm trying to teach them that as well. A lot of them do like the hourly. They like that stuff. So to get it done in less hours, I like that. Like, I have friends that do have social media companies, and they pay all their employees get paid the same amount, $50,000. They're here in the US. they do social media marketing and they only work 4 days a week. She doesn't even track their hours or anything. I'm like, hashtag goals. Like, that is a lot of trust.
I
I'm
know.
in this mastermind and everyone else is just like, whoa, that's not what we do. Like, how no one tracks their hours. Are you sure they're doing this work?
Right?
It's really scary. So I don't know, things are changing here in the US. I like to see that, because working 80 hours a week, like my sister and her husband that are doctors, like, I think that's not healthy. That's dangerous. I mean, I don't want to see a doctor that worked 80 hours a week and is doing surgery on me. That sounds scary.
So funny, but there's so many of them that are doing it. So many,
Yeah.
you know, so many. But I mean, I would go for the 4-day. I would go for a 4-day. So, you know, let us know if you're listening to the podcast. Share, let us know what you think. Okay, would you want that 4-day, or would you prefer that 5? What do you think? I think majority of us are going to say the 4, because we like our weekends.
And would you take off a Friday or would you take off a Monday?
Okay, so I got to think about that, because sometimes I like that Monday off, and then sometimes I like that Friday off. It's so weird. I don't know.
For some flexibility. That sounds
Yes,
good.
yeah.
I like that.
Or if it could be that you could choose between whether you want to come in on or interchange. So every other week you can be like,
so
on
no meetings
Friday
on
off.
Fridays or Mondays.
exactly.
No company-wide meetings. I like that idea. That sounds great.
Yes,
So you have
yes,
some
yes.
flexibility.
Mm-hmm. No Wednesdays trying to kill us, okay? Okay, so you work with your husband. We're going to talk about that. I know it's your husband. It's your partner, but they can be annoying. Let's just say that. Okay, so share with us your work-life balance. How do you guys make decisions together? Do you guys even stop? You know, like, do you take a break from work? So, you know, are you taking it into, you know, I mean, you guys work from home, so we can't say, are you taking it into the home because you're at home? But where do you cut it off? Where do you say, hey, we're not talking about work. Work is over.
Yeah, that was tough. We've been married for 11 years, working together for 7 years. And like, we have had to have strict boundaries. And when we've gone to counseling, which I think is so important if you're working with your spouse, we did counseling even when things are really good. Of 7 years, we've had a counselor for 6 years. And it wasn't bad the whole entire time. It just makes a big difference, just learning how to keep dating, how to communicate well. Our counselors are like, I wish everyone was like you. Like, most people come when there's just problems, but we just want to have a great relationship and a great business. It's a dual relationship, and it's really hard, whether you work with a spouse or a parent or a child. It's challenging. And yeah, boundaries. We have 2 separate offices. It's one really big deal that makes a difference. I have a closed door here, so this is my office, and that makes a big difference. I could not work in an open workspace, or I need it totally quiet.
Yeah.
No music, just quiet. We both have our own way of working. And another thing that makes a big difference is having clear roles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm in charge of sales and marketing for our company. That's my main role. And so I oversee our team around those areas. Then my husband, he is doing fulfillment and finances, overseeing our team that fulfills on everything we sell. And some things overlap. Like, lately, I guess the past year, have been getting everything prepared for like our weekly financial meeting.
Yeah.
We have a CPA, we have a bookkeeper, we have all that, but I like to check in on a weekly basis if we're staying in line for our budget. And since we work together, we look at personal finances and business finances. We look at both of them on a weekly basis. I know, like, profit first, Mike would not.
Exactly.
He says do it twice per month. We do it 4 times just because it's easier. It's less work for me. But that's something that's really, really important for us to do every single Friday. And Robert used to be in charge of all finances. But this year, I've been learning about real estate investing and stock market and all the 401k stuff, because I want, we want to have all that set up for ourselves and our staff, all of that. So I've been learning about that. So I'm normally not in charge of finances, but I took on a bigger role in that area. But the biggest thing is whatever role you do in your company, if you're working with your spouse or a family member, is you need clear roles and you need to trust them to get their job done and don't micromanage them. I think that's the worst thing to do. And my husband has bought me noise canceling headphones. I'm not wearing them right now, but I do have them. So sometimes he does take sales calls and he's like, put in your headphones, don't listen to me, because he knows that I'm gonna critique him, but he's not my employee. And so my staff, I can critique them, but I'm not here to critique my husband. That's not sexy. That's not fun. Don't do that. That doesn't work.
You're like, we gotta make it. Nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah. So I throw in the new noise canceling headphones and we do a lot better.
That's true. So what are some of the benefits of working with your husband? And, does that partnership, who in the partnership actually is going to be the one to keep the other one accountable?
Yeah, so I think a big benefit, like my sister, they just adopted, and I shared her and her husband, they're doctors, and they're still in she's doing a fellowship, he's doing residency, but that still is like, you can't take time off. You're not making a ton of money. Like, you are having to work a lot. And so they adopted. She could take off a whole 3 months, but the pressure was on for her to only take off 10 weeks. For her husband, he only ended up, I think, taking off 3 weeks. Like, and having a newborn baby, like, and so that's something I think about in our company. If you're running your own business and you want to have a family, you want to have more kids, I think it's so important to set up systems and structures so that you can take some time off. Maybe you're checking emails, taking a call or two around, doing a meeting with your employees. But I think that's so important to have that set up, because you don't want to go like 10, 20 years later and be like, wait, I didn't do the things that I want to do, like traveling or having kids. I think that's really important to do. And the same thing happens for emergencies.
Exactly.
Like my husband lost his mom 6 years ago. My mom passed 2 years ago. And at those times, we both were able to step it up in the company. I was able to take on roles around what he did. I'm not as good at as what he does, because he's like fulfillment, techie, like all on the computer doing all that. I did my best job that I could. And same thing for me. Like, he picked up the slack and took on sales calls and marketing and, managed the people that I oversee. And so we flip-flopped. And I think if you are working at a job, like, it's security, you have insurance, you have 401k, you have all that stuff. But if a crisis happens, a car accident, a family member gets sick, like, I was able to spend half of 2020 helping take care of my mom in another state, away from my husband, away from our business. But because of the systems and structures we had set up, and because I work with my spouse, he was able to pick up the slack that I had on my role. And then I was able to help take care of my mom with cancer. And so I think I know, because I have 3 sisters, so I saw how they were able to, and some have kids, some don't, some have full-time jobs. And I was the one that was most flexible. And our business even grew during that time when I stepped back, which was really cool to see him thrive and do that. So that's why I'm so like pro families working together. But it is really hard. You need some support and some community that like has done it well, because a lot of people don't do it well, like on all the TV shows.
That's true. That is so true. I mean, family is good, but family is also, it can be hard to have family around. And especially because sometimes we feel as if we're family, we don't want to say, do your job. Because it's easier for us to tell someone else who's not the family member, work. But when it comes down to family, it's like, we're family. You should know what you should do. but then you have to set ground rules, as you said before. This is my weakness, this is your strength. I'll do this, you'll do that. So I like that. And it's keeping each other accountable in different areas.
Accountability. Ooh,
yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah. So how do you guys, keep each other accountable?
So we do a yearly planning meeting for our whole company, and it's mostly focused around sales and the objectives for the company. Because if you want your company to grow, you have to make more sales. Like that's how all companies grow. And of course, you have to have good systems around fulfilling on what you sell.
Exactly.
Or else you're not going to grow your company. But our objectives, which he's like, shouldn't we have these other ones around fulfillment? I was like, no, it's all around sales.
Exactly.
And that's what all the other coaches say too. But we do that every November. Mm-hmm. And we take off like 3 to 5 days for just a vacation for us to take off and to be at the beach, go to the pool, read, just get out of our environment. We don't fly anywhere. We'll even just like drive an hour or two just to get away. And then we take the last 2 days to plan out the whole next year. That's made a huge difference because then we can get on the same page for revenue goals. And then each quarter we assess our goals and then we change them if things are not lining up. I mean, the past 2 years, things change like all the time. You're like, had all these goals, but then I think you need to be okay to pivot and change and not be so attached if things are not going down the path that you thought that they would go. Exactly. So we will assess quarterly. But as for accountability, I'm definitely the one that's the goal setter and that sets ambitious things. And my husband's like, let's put on the brakes. That's a lot. But I just keep doing sales calls and keep selling packages, and then he has to figure it out and hire more people and make it work. So accountability, Calendly, I think Calendly holds us accountable because it's like you have a scheduled call, and if it's a client and you're supposed to present them the data of the work you've been doing, well, that holds you accountable to get that work done. You don't want to show up to a call not prepared when they're paying you. Same thing on a sales call. If you don't show up for your sales calls, like you're not going to get more business. So Calendly helps hold us accountable without us getting on each other's cases. But I'm definitely a lot harder on him. I'm like, did you set an alarm? You have an appointment coming up. Are you ready for that? But then that's getting to micromanaging. And I said, don't do that. That's not good to micromanage.
Exactly. That's true. You got to let them grow on their own. Yes, you can always say, hey, remember, you got this to do, but sometimes you got to let them grow on their own because that's how they're going to learn, what do I need to improve on? What is it that I am slacking on? And then they can see, this year or for the year 2022, I made great improvement on, putting in my assignments on time or something, meeting that deadline. So sometimes you got to let them see what's going on. Mm-hmm. So alrighty, so we are going to do a little fun game here. Are you ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so here's it. So I'm gonna pick a few things that I am looking at around. Okay, I'm just gonna pick random things, and then you're going to tell me something that reminds you of this object.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, fun.
So let's see. There's so many things in here. Okay, so let's start off with a suitcase.
A suitcase. So the suitcase, the first thing that I thought about is it was 2020 and we had this client in Spain that wanted to launch a podcast. And I'm like, you're in Spain. You can't order all this equipment off of Amazon. I don't know what was going on back then. They couldn't order what we wanted them to order to match the stuff that we have. So I came up with this idea, podcast studio in a box. So we found a conference for her to go to. She's a naturopathic doctor. We found a conference for her to go to in Florida. I was like, I'll buy all the equipment and then I'll fly to that conference. I'll help you record all these podcasts. I'll bring your podcast studio in a box and then you can fly with it back home as your carry-on. But then 2020 happened and it was a week before and the conference got canceled. So I had to ship the whole suitcase. This is hard plastic suitcase all the way to Spain. Now she has a podcast out. She's doing great, living her best life. So that was the first thing that I thought about with the suitcase. See, entrepreneurial.
Exactly, right? Who would have thought suitcase would have brought all that story out?
Oh my gosh.
That's
so
incredible. That's
so
amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so the second thing is TV.
TV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wish we didn't even have a TV. Growing up, we'd watch TV together as a family. When I went to college, I didn't have a TV. And when I moved to California, I didn't have a TV. When I got married, my husband's favorite is watching TV and movies. And I'm always asking him to turn off all the apps. Let's just get rid of the TV. We don't need this. Let's just watch YouTube and listen to podcasts and audiobooks. That would be just the best thing in the world for me. That'd make me so happy. But he loves TV. So I watch it with him sometimes. But I don't think we really need TVs.
You don't think so? Oh,
I don't know.
No. You know what?
I love YouTube. Do you love which app do you like, or what show do you like right now?
Stranger Things.
Oh, I heard there's a new season out
Tomorrow.
Oh, we watched the other ones of those.
Yeah.
I didn't know how they could do another season. Maybe I just don't remember how that last season ended.
Season 4?
Wait, is there a season 5 now? Am I too behind?
No, season 4 is the last season. They just have 2 more episodes.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen any of season 4. Yes. I just learned last week that that's out, and I was like, oh, I missed it. Yes. We already have 3 other apps. I don't want to add another app.
She's like, I'm done.
We need to delete the other apps. There's too many apps available. Let's get rid of that on the budget.
That is amazing. That's great. Okay, so we're wrapping up right now. Before we get going, I want you to share with us your social media account. Share with us where we can find you. So you do marketing. So if anyone is out listening and you need marketing services, definitely go find Liz. And I'll put all the information that you need, the links that you need to click on so that you can find the business and that you can also follow on social media. But go ahead and share with us.
Thank you. Yeah, so you can find me by my name, Liz Cortes with an S online. And I'm normally on Instagram or LinkedIn. Those are the 2 spots that I'm on the most. Yes, we have business accounts for RebelFish Local, but I like social media being a little more personal. So I have more fun posting and keeping up to date on my personal accounts instead of the business account. I don't know if anyone else is like that out there. I think it's fun to be a little more personal.
I'm just the same way.
You asked me about TV, suitcase. Yeah, I thought you'd like the personal touch as well. Yeah, so that is where you can find us.
Nice. And also, one more thing before you go, because I like to ask my guests to share something, their favorite quote, or just one thing that they want to leave with the audience. Something that's on your mind or something you saw this week.
Ooh, something I saw this week. Ooh, I don't know if I want to share that I saw this week. I don't know. If you want to know what I'm thinking right now, send me a message on social media.
Okay.
Just kidding. No.
For that, send her a message, okay?
Oh, no. I'll tell you. No. So the big thing in San Diego this week is there was some weird lights in the sky, like hundreds of lights. Did you see this on the news?
Oh, I didn't see that.
I don't know. It's an invasion. Something weird's going on in San Diego. So I'm getting all these texts for the past 2 days of what people saw in the sky. It's really creepy. I don't know. That was something interesting, but seriously, I think the quote that I like the best is one by Donald Miller: "If you confuse, you lose." So I might have confused everyone right now by talking about suitcases, talking about aliens, I don't know, weird stuff in the sky. So if you confuse, you lose, and I just might have confused everyone right now.
You
So
did.
don't confuse people on your website, your business website. That is where you make money, and you need to be very clear. And you can have fun on podcasts and on social media.
Exactly. And this is the podcast to have fun. Okay, we'll laugh. We'll talk about a few things. You know, Stranger Things, a suitcase, a podcast.
Aliens. I thought you'd appreciate it, Stranger Things.
Exactly. Oh my God, this was a great conversation, Liz. Thank you for joining the podcast. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for talking about, working with your spouse, which is, a big thing today because so many people are transitioning into the, working from home and also being a business owner, so working with their spouse. So thank you so much. We wish you all the success in your business, and don't forget, guys, to go and follow. And if you need any services, Liz is here for you.
Thank you, Anna Kay. Bye.